Hey, welcome. This is Mark Tamile from Nemesis Kennels, and you're with Dobie Talk. So today, well, first of all, happy Friday, and we are having a special guest on today from New York, East Coast. This is Brandon Vitali, and it's going to be Achilles, the Dobie. And we'd like to introduce him, and we're going to ask him some questions and go over some experiences that he's actually learned from the time he's owned his Dobie. All right. Well, welcome, Brandon.
Thank you, Mark. Happy to be here.
How's it going, man? How's the weather out there?
Yeah, weather, spring is in the air. The plants are all blooming, super beautiful. The cold days are behind us. It's perfect. Like today was a perfect day, maybe like 55, 60, sunny, nice, crisp, cool air. So it's good.
Nice, nice. That's
Yeah.
a good dog weather that you guys can take
Yeah.
Achilles out.
Definitely.
So let us know, like I always try to do, is introduce yourself. Let us know, what you do, where you're at right now, and then why you got into the Doberman breed.
Definitely. So I'm out of New York. I work from home in hospital finance. I split time between New York and my girlfriend's house in New Jersey until we decide where we want to live and buy our house. But basically, my best buddy, who I've known since preschool, him and his fiance got a Doberman probably a little less than 2 years ago. And when I went down to Florida this past May, it was the first time I got to meet his pet Doberman, a male named Kane. And I didn't know much about the Doberman breed or dogs in general. This is my first dog, but I fell in love with the Doberman. I started just growing up. I thought I always wanted a dog, but you think like pit bull, German Shepherd, Rottweiler was a big one. But then I love the patterning and coloring on Rottweilers, and the Doberman share that since they're bred from the Rottweiler and a mix of others. And I just loved how they were more intelligent. They had a little leaner physique, and like fifth most intelligent dog. I like their mental. They need a mental stimulation, and just like checked all the boxes. First breed ever created as a protector. That 1890s Louis Doberman history intrigued me, and that friend from Florida, my best friend Richard, he actually told me that he had an associate and friend, and that guy got his dog from Nemesis Kennels. And then I was just almost a year ago, my boy was born on 5/27, but I contacted you. You got right back to me. There had just been a litter, and we hit the ground running from there. So it's been Doberman ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we like to follow with our clients and our new owners. We want to make sure that you guys are having a comfortable experience with your dog. Making sure that all the vaccinations and things are going well, and
Mm-hmm.
the growing pains. Because sometimes as being a new owner, sometimes the growing pains you don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we really like to have this type of communication with our owners, and this platform, this podcast, so we can share with our followers and our viewers, and to help them out, to give them some tips and pointers and helpful hints, to have a little better experience, with their dog.
Most
And I
definitely.
think that's what a lot of these platforms are doing nowadays, is teaching a lot of their experience, and showing what can be achieved if you put the work
Mm-hmm.
in, right? And I
Definitely.
believe, like I said, we follow you guys. So, we love what you're doing with Achilles. You're doing
Thank
the work. Every day is repetitive that we see. You have a structure in him. As you know, and people can't see right now, but Achilles is sleeping right next to Brandon.
you.
And they worked out this morning, and again, like we like to say, a tired dog is a happy dog.
Yeah.
So going out and playing with your dog, exercising them, doing these basic obedience things that you can do at home, to tire your dog out, to challenge them. Your dog will be much more healthier and happier for that. Now, do you see that when you first got Achilles from us, And as you were growing, you've been learning a lot and you've been implementing, right? And you probably, your whole day is probably watching YouTube videos and learning from training and stuff. Because I know I do, bro.
Mhm.
I try to network. I try to, try to learn
Yeah.
something new every day. So I know you're doing the work.
Definitely. Like I said, it's the first dog. I knew very little about dogs, and I didn't even really know about the Doberman breed because I didn't grow up around dogs. So it's all very new to me. But when I get into anything, I like to get deep down the rabbit hole. And I realized if I'm going to get a purebred dog, a protection potentially type of dog, and just one of those premier breeds like the German Shepherd, like Doberman is top 5 dogs of all time, in my opinion. And they have that unique personality and physique. So I really learned that there's levels to dog training. I'm a novice, but it's really fun and exciting because you can take it to nth degrees and levels. I aspire to go down that route, but
Sure.
it's all been fun and exciting, and there's a ton of resources out there to learn and practice, but it's definitely a huge commitment. I work from home, so I have the time one-on-one with him to form that bond. He's 11 months tomorrow, but there's definitely been challenges, but we're at like you said, we're at a really good place right now because we have formed that structure and routine, and now we're just adding things on top of it and trying to learn more. And yeah, it's been a trip, but I couldn't, I wouldn't change anything.
That's awesome, bro. Like I said, and it shows, all the
Thank
things,
you.
all the things that you guys been posting, it shows a good temperament dog, the basic foundation, the good obedience, things like that. You know, like I always say, you need to control these beasts, right?
It's
Because,
true.
yeah, because ultimately, their ultimate goal is to protect you and love you. And sometimes if you don't have that structure in them, they don't know when the time to do that is, right? So, you know, again,
100%.
what we can do at home is so much what we can do. But I always recommend getting with a really good trainer that will implement good imprinting in your dog and good behaviors and good habits. And I know that you guys actually moved to that next level, right? You guys are training out there with someone.
Yep. I've always had a trainer from the start. Her Instagram is Wolf Moon Dog Training. Her name's Michaela. She's the truth, the real deal. And then I just
Awesome. Shout out
started.
to Michaela.
Yeah, for real. Thank you for everything. And I just started doing some protection work with him with Bad Dog Company, I think it is, in Long Island. Some premier dogs there. Most of the club members are professional dog trainers. A lot of Malinois, German Shepherds, Dutch Shepherds. So we'll get into that later if you want. But we're tacking or we're checking off that one, the desire to bite and protect. But it's been really good. So
Yeah. How do you like the atmosphere? How do you like the community when you go in to do some bite work and the sport work? Because a lot of people, to shout out to the people that, are in fear of going to these, clubs, where there are protection dogs around. It's not your normal, like we never recommend dog parks, but it's not your normal dog park or association with people. Everyone has a goal and it has a purpose for their dogs, right?
100%. I think you touched on a good thing right there. Everyone is under the impression, Mark, I can't see you, by the way, but I could see myself.
Sure.
But anyways, everyone's under the impression I took my dog to the dog park, and like you just touched on, that's not a great thing because there's a certain etiquette that dogs should meet each other under. They shouldn't be on leash. These are first and foremost, like you said, these are pack animals, and I've never personally, I've never allowed Achilles to go on the furniture or sleep in my bed. He's crate trained from day one because overall that structure and strictness now pays dividends down the road. I think at humanity, for the most part, and if you're not really in the nitty gritty of the dog world, we tend to anthropomorphize these animals and say, oh, well, maybe he nipped me or she nipped me on the hands because that's her way of saying hi. But I always drill things back to like history and what these animals come from or who they come from, and they're wolves, and they need structure. If you study any wolf pack or watch a documentary, there's alpha, beta, gamma. There's a whole hierarchy and unity amongst them. So
everyone has their place.
Exactly. So they look to you for structure and for leadership and guidance. And that's really up to you to provide that for them, because if you don't, then they're confused, and it just, that relationship is skewed from the start.
Yeah, most definitely. And you hit the nail on the head, man. What we have to do is, again, repetitive structure with these dogs, because again, like you said, the alpha, beta and omega, everyone has a place in their pack, and they'll find their pack. If you do not provide that alpha role in that household with that structure and that discipline, these dogs will take that role, and they will challenge you, and they will make your life difficult. And then you'll find out that, why did I get this dog in the first place? Well, again, you have to go back to what you put into that dog, right? And if you don't have no structure on that dog and that dog runs wild, then basically you got to look within.
100%. And then, like I said, there's rabbit holes into every topic and niche, but another one in the dog canine world is, like, say that scenario like you just described, a dog that's out of control, never really was given that structure, and say that they're a male dog. It's just commonplace. Oh, I'm just going to clip him to calm him down. But you're changing what that animal would always be in nature, and nothing in nature is ever free. So there's health consequences and ramifications. My philosophy is to keep it as natural as possible, as it was in prehistory and along their genetics, and to just give them that structure to be dogs. Dogs are pack animals. Don't compare it to yourself and humans and other animals. They're their own little beasts.
Yeah, and I think that's why we try to recommend the raw diet for these dogs, because that's what they're naturally produced. It will prolong their life in the long run.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, please continue.
No, I was just going to say, I understand that everyone can't afford a raw diet for their dogs, but maybe, basically a balanced diet with maybe some high protein kibble, with maybe some raw beef. Everyone can afford some ground beef, so they can get 80-20 and throw that into it. Just so that it keeps that prey drive into them, that natural form.
100%. And I'm a big advocate of raw. I only have fed Achilles raw. Like you said, I know not everyone could do it financially, and it is expensive. Just to be honest, I probably spend on this guy $700 or $800 a month just on foods, treats, toys, supplies, etc. I'm able to at this moment, and I'm trying to take him to a level, as best as I can with some protection work. And one of my trainers said it pretty well. Like a pet dog, they're a salaried employee. They get the same food every day, all the time. But like a working dog, or a dog that you're really trying to form that relationship with, where he or she wants to work with you, they want to play with you, they want to be glued to your hip, looking at you, looking for direction. You have to incentivize that animal, and you can incentivize by food, keeping it different, keeping it exciting, have high value on that food, special time when you feed them, and or by toys, certain toys, but I think the food is an essential ingredient. And if you're going to spend your life with this animal and form a soul level type bond, food is thy medicine. I believe that for us, and I believe that for them. And I just think a raw is expensive because it is, but in the long run, it saves you on vet bills, getting the teeth cleaned, etc. But last thing on this, because I'm so passionate about the nutrition part of it, is I think anyone should read some books on raw. It's how dogs and canines were meant to eat. The industry was kind of taken over with kibble and dry food. It's a rabbit hole in and of itself, but I couldn't agree more with engaging with that animal. And like you said, even if you're on a budget, you could go to the supermarket and get a few things to get more out of your animal.
Oh yeah, we love European Doberman stud. Shout out to Gerald, who got us into this.
Yeah, he just followed me on Instagram. Shout out.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's badass, man, and he has some great dogs over there. But he's always gave me hints on producing the best studs and the best females and producing the best puppies and things like that. So he always used to always recommend raw to us. Even with a Nook Shook too, with the high premium, high calorie diet with these dogs, because they never walk. They're always running, so they're always burning off calories. So especially when they're out there training each day with the trainer, they're burning a lot of calories. So we like to keep that that structure on them, and so we feed a high protein diet with a Nook Shook, but we add like salmon oil, coconut oil. We add raw beef. Sometimes, like I said, Gerald recommends some. Chicken quarters, chicken legs, that promotes the neck muscles, the jaw muscles. And every so often, you guys can throw this stuff into your dog's food. It helps promote good health. We even do that Hawaiian spirulina, that superfood powder that
seafood and algae and kelp and spirulina, like you just said. I mean, that's an essential part for sure. It's in the raw food that I feed Achilles too. They throw some of that in. Very low starch carbohydrates. But the nutrition aspect of it definitely goes deep. I would promote raw 100% through and through. I go to a holistic vet and she's a proponent of raw. So I'm very much aligned with that. I think it's how the animals are. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brandon. Do you add any supplements with the raw as well?
Definitely, I'm an advocate, like you said, of the fatty oils, the salmon oils, the coconut oil. Coconut oil is amazing in general to oil their paws, to have that good coat, health. A few powdered supplements I did when he was a puppy. I'll cut up a little garlic and put that in a few of his meals. It's toxic in high doses, so only a clove, I think it is, per 20 body pounds. But I basically just buy the best food that the raw food store offers, and I give him 3 meals a day. Right now, he's 11 months tomorrow, so he's probably around 75 pounds. I have to measure his height still, but he's right in that healthy range, and I'm just upping his meat recently from like 3 pounds to 4, which is the higher end. So, and he eats it all up, and that's given him treats throughout the day, chicken hearts, beef lung, like really clean stuff. Yeah.
I was going to say, because we just, we like do chicken feet. We do like the hearts, the liver,
same
the gizzard.
here. Yep.
Yeah, sometimes we'll go to the butcher and grab that stuff. We also, like the dogs right now, they're chilling with a bone marrow bone. They like to eat all that bone marrow. Yeah, it helps with the bone and structure and stuff like that. But you got to, remember to take the bone away after, because they can gnaw down their teeth if they just keep up with that bone. But yeah, man, that's a lot of good stuff. Like I said, we always recommend raw, but if you can't do that, try to find a good high protein kibble for your dog. We always recommend going to the FDA website to make sure that, nothing that you're feeding your dog has been recalled. So just double check on there.
And I would say, I'm sorry to cut you off. And I would say to anyone listening, like, buy a book on the subject on a raw diet, and you could do a lot of it yourself, even as simple as eggs and, you could do straight raw, and then you could cook their meals as well. But if the store were to close tomorrow, and the supermarkets, etc., and the raw food store near me, then that book that you read on raw will really provide you so much information that you could feed your dog as is human food, eggs, eggshells for the calcium, X, Y, and Z. You could really take that nutrition aspect on, and you have all the food, you know, pretty much at hand that you could feed your dog. So knowledge is power. Read a book on it, and you'll learn so much.
So what Brandon's telling you guys, there's no excuses, all right?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. A dog is going to be at his best and or her best, given that they eat closer to how they did for thousands of years biologically. You know.
Yep. And again, that's
That
why we
bar-
buy a dog, for a companion, for that protection, for that, that ultimate love. I'm not sure if anyone has, that's watching, that hasn't owned a dog, but is looking to get a puppy. Once you get that puppy, you form a certain bond with that dog that is above all others. It's just so crazy when you do, and
It is.
it's that's why, our community, in love with this particular breed, is so passionate, because these dogs love so much, and they're so in tune with their emotions. So we just want to promote the breed in the right manner. We want to make sure that we're preserving the breed, by sharing our experiences, and making sure that breeders, trainers, owners are always doing the right thing, by their dog. So what do you feel on that?
I think you should know what you're getting into. I read a few books on specifically the Doberman before I got Achilles. They're a Velcro dog. They're going to be at your side nonstop. They want to work for you. It's up to you to make them want to work for you. But they're Velcro. They're always going to be by your side. They're highly emotional. They, from my understanding, mature a little slower than other canines. They're goofy. They need exercise. They need mental stimulation. Can't see you again, Mark, but it's okay.
That's okay. I'm just putting you on the solo layout, bro.
Yeah, no worries. They need mental stimulation, but they're a fascinating breed. They're beautiful. They're regal. They're a true protector. It's in their genetics. But they're a unique breed, from the ear posting to the docking the tail to the maybe crying and whining. But I love everything about them. I think I'll continue to be a Doberman owner throughout my life. And I'm definitely learning a lot as I go, and have learned a lot as I've gone.
Yeah, for sure. And again, with more of these podcasts and more of, sharing our experiences, I learn as well, because there are people out there that are doing different things, have different ideas, have different perspectives, different backgrounds, what they can provide for their companion, and, give them the best opportunity in life. And so if we can share those little tips, like I said, this is what we're here for. So that's why I always ask people, if you ever want to be on this platform and share your experience, we love to have you, and, again, we appreciate your time spending it, and sharing your input, and sharing your experience and your knowledge. And hopefully someone can take that and implement that into their dog, and hopefully they can see the benefits into it. Right.
Most definitely. I'm with you. And you've definitely been an asset to me since I got the pup. My friend Damien, who got his girl Onyx from you, was an asset and has been. So I've learned as I've gone, but I've just enjoyed, the different layers and degrees of raising a dog from pup to fully mature. And I like the Doberman for so many reasons. I love their personality. I love how they look. I love just everything about them. They're unique, but I think they're one of the best breeds out there. If you're willing to put in the work and have the time, because they need full engagement. Any Doberman book or or article on the internet will tell you these dogs can't go and be on a lawn in your backyard all day. They're Velcro, like I said, they want to be by your side and they need stimulation. So it's not a dog that you could leave in your backyard unattended to. It's a high drive working dog, but once you form that routine with them, it's like clockwork, and they're good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you have a great routine with them, because, the most of the times that what we look for in first-time pet owners or in our clients is making sure that they're active. That's really on the top of our list. I mean, you don't necessarily have to put your dog into any sport work, protection work, and things like that. We just want to make sure and ensure that, you have an active lifestyle, because these dogs need that. If I was selling Labradors or, a golden retriever and things like that, I wouldn't look for an as active family, right?
Correct.
But with Dobermans and Malleys and Dutch Shepherds and things like that, with the working breed, with the high drive dog, we have to look for that, because the last thing we want to do is to try to rehome these dogs, making sure that they're fully reaching their potential with their owners, right? Not everyone's going to have the same lifestyle or the same goals for their dog, but as long as they're loving the dog, exercising the dog, and making sure that they're giving them good nutrition. And that's what we look for.
Most definitely. I always equate any living creature to like a battery, and that battery is at full charge after you wake up from a good night's sleep. But the next day it has to be drained. And I see when I'm walking my boy, I see dogs in the windows barking, pent up, and that's just untapped energy. They need to drain the batteries. They need mental stimulation. And I think a mistake that people can make with any type of high drive working dog is they think they need to exercise them ad nauseum. They need to do 10 miles a day. That mental stimulation really tires them out. I could have Achilles run on the beach freely off leash, and we could do 2-3 miles. And he's okay, but 1 hour of a concentrated walk where he's glued to my side, his head is up, he's not lollygagging, that'll tire him out much more than running on the beach. Also, I think tug toys and bite type work, the toys, a few minute sessions, 10 minutes here and there, where they're really pulling for that toy and they're huffing and puffing, that could wear them out too. So it's not like you have to be out with your dog 4 hours a day doing 10 miles. It's just, maybe 2 hours a day, they say for a Doberman, but constantly have him sit by the door because he wants to run straight out the door. It's like a lot of at high energy thresholds. It's really ultimately being synced with your animal and giving them the outlet to burn off that pent up steam. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways to to exhaust that energy that they build up. But how I do my structure every day is a learning situation. So if I'm seeing my dog doing something good and they're just free roaming, I always praise them for doing that, right?
Agreed.
If they're not going to be in any structure at that time, they're just free roaming. So if they do something good, I reward that. If they get into something I discipline that, right? I say no. I teach them. I kind of redirect them to do something different.
But correct and redirect. Yeah.
This is a totally like a lifestyle, basically. When you get into working out, and you start working out, and then you end it, and then people start working out, and they just turn into a lifestyle, and it becomes an everyday habit, right? So it's a lifestyle. So same thing with these type of dogs. It becomes a lifestyle with you, and you become in tune with your dog. What you want from your dog, the dog's going to be in tune with you. I always suggest trying to take your dog everywhere with you, because you want to desensitize them to environmentals, to noises, to sounds, to people, to dogs, to all kinds of things, because you're going to have a well-rounded dog and a more balanced dog, not barking, not being over aggressive, not being over anxious and things like that. So we always recommend these things. Again, we know that time is valuable, and we we're very busy, and people's lives are very busy, and but you do have to save some of that time for your pet, right? And again, we try to do like 3-4 times a day with our pets, for 15-20 minutes each, either training, exercising, doing some type of structure, running, walking, slap mill if it's raining or something like that.
I
Every
need to
day is
get one.
something.
It's on the list soon.
Yeah,
Before winter,
it's a
I'll
good
definitely
exercise.
get one.
It's a great, and especially where you live, you get a lot of snow and
Go
things like
ahead.
that. The weather, so it's great for indoors.
Nice.
Hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, big boy?
He's feeling his oats. Easy.
Yeah, for sure. So on a lighter note, man, I know it's about Dobies and stuff like that, but I know you ride. I know you're a motorcyclist.
Yeah, I actually got the bike as a little distressor from training this guy, just to spin out, go to the gym. It's been fun. I got a little dual sport Honda CRF 300. It's
Nice.
fun. I'm into all that outdoor rigs, like overlanding with your truck, just basically being able to go anywhere easy.
Yeah.
Going anywhere, anytime, and just have part of freedom is having a well-trained animal and vehicles, etc., and anything to get out there in the world. But just real quick on what you touched on, I completely agree. Bring your dog everywhere. I have a double X or an XL crate in the house, and then I have another crate in the vehicle, so I could just bring him right in the car, and he's in his home. He's happy. He's chilling.
Yeah,
He's
shout out
he's not
Dakota 83s.
the best crates ever. I couldn't be happier. The large fits perfect in my car. The XL is his home in the house. I'll never have a dog and not crate train them. I know a lot of people that give up on it because their dog cries that first week like crazy, and then they give up. But then it gives you so much freedom and protects the animal and gives them that evolutionary den that they've always been in. So I just couldn't recommend crate training enough. And for real, bring your dog everywhere.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get discouraged, Brandon, because they just are uneducated. They don't know how to actually do it. But if you learn from a real good trainer on the little tips, and how to actually crate train your dog in a safe manner and a comfortable manner, it's very easy. We just got to make sure that we're not,
The first.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry to cut you off. The first night or two, he was howling and making canine sounds, but you feed him in there for the next week, and he's a puppy, and then it's business as usual, and you just never break it. He's never not slept outside the crate. He sleeps throughout the whole night, and I could bring him anywhere with me traveling, and it's just the best thing I ever did.
The one thing that was different with you guys, you and Adam, was I didn't send the puppy through cargo to you guys. You guys were a little special. You guys flew in, picked up the puppy, and then flew out. So that was kind of cool. The reason why, and I didn't really crate train the puppy before, because normally I do that a week in advance because I don't want them stressed on the plane, is I'll get their cargo crate and I'll put them in their playpen, and they'll gravitate back and forth, in and out, because I have toys or I have treats in there. So they'll go back and forth in it, and then they'll start sleeping in it, right? And then once they start sleeping, I start closing the door a little, and then I'll put them in there for 15 minutes, and then I'll take them back out and let them gravitate back and forth, and I'll put them in there for another half hour. So I build them up like that. And just like I sent over a dog over to New Mexico, to Larry, our new owner, that dog didn't whine, loved it, slept the whole way. Exercise the puppy ahead of time. So there's multiple ways that you can do it in a comfortable way, so the dog gravitates to the crate and it's a comfortable space for them. So, and it's good for us, when we want to have a private time, and hey, crate, kennel, whatever you want to say the command word.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dog will go
Go to
into
the
it,
gym,
out.
go out for a few hours, and you don't have to worry because these animals will kill themselves by just eating something, chewing on an electrical cord. They really cannot be unattended to. And if they have that separation anxiety, it's no good. So 100% crate from day one. I would buy it. Initially, I had bought a wire one and with the cover on it to cover all the sides except the entrance. Always face it towards your door so they could be a natural protector. But if I could do it from the start again, I'd personally skip out on the wire crates because they could hurt their teeth on those and there's big gaps, and just go straight to something like a Dakota or a Gunner, or, one of the higher end ones.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are good crates. They're crash tested. And, again, they always recommend to buying the right size for your dog when you travel. Don't buy it oversized because then your dog can bounce inside the crate, right? So you won't want to buy it.
Sorry, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You just said it perfectly. I'm sorry to cut you off. You don't want it too big while they're traveling for safety reasons. And I would also say you don't want to start them too big too soon, because then as a puppy and then they're in this gigantic crate, then when they're full grown and they're in that same gigantic crate, it'll feel small to them. So that's why anyone that gets a puppy, they'll put that divider in it so they don't soil one part of the crate. So there's a sweet science to that too. But all these crate manufacturers have dividers when they're a puppy, and then you could take it out when it's full grown. But like you said,
so you don't have to, buy multiple crates.
No, please go. Exactly. And I think it's important that like when I first got him, before I had one in the car, I had him loose in a harness to the seatbelt, but he was just sliding places, and the crate in the car and the one in the room has just been so seamless. I could go and bring him with me, or I could nap him here at the house. So huge advocate of crate training, and I'll take him out eventually, maybe when he's 2 years old, 3 years old, but he'll always have that to travel in and as a home if needed, in a hotel, etc., whatever.
For sure. Well, that's awesome, man. Again, props to you. I always give it up to you guys, that share their progress with their dog, because we love seeing it. As breeders, we love seeing our dogs progressing and, getting titled and, all that good stuff. But the most important thing is the love, right? We just love the bond that you guys have with these dogs. And, we love to share it. We love to promote the breed in the right manner. There's always, people out there that are always criticizing certain things about, dog sports and the way, dog.
Or even the Doberman with the ears and the tail and
there's all types of things. But, again, that's just people just being a little uneducated and inexperienced, so that's why we have form, just to educate them. Again, we don't have to make sure that they agree with us. We just have to share the facts and the points, right? And
I agree.
They can take it how they want to take it.
100%. Yep.
So what's your next goal with Achilles right now, Brandon? What do you guys got going on? You guys got any vacations? Hiking, camping?
Well, when we're talking about change of seasons, since he was a puppy when I brought him home this past August, this year I would like to, since I'm on the water, get him in the water, teach him how to swim. As far as training, I'm just hammering heel, foos, where the dog walks at your side and looks at you. That's a big. That's a big one for me, because for one, it's for a first-time dog owner, and just my general assumption, that separates you from basic obedience to intermediate, at least, because for any dog sport, whether it's Schutzhund or I don't know, any dog sport, PSA, they require an on-leash and off-leash heel, and that's just my real goal. On top of teaching him anything, if a dog could know 200 commands, let's say, you could get creative. I want him to know left, right, back pedal, halt, so much. Yeah. So I'm constantly thinking of things. Right. Yeah. So.
Because when we used to go bike riding, we used to go.
That's it. Yep.
around the
Yeah.
block. So he used to pull me on a bungee cord. So I used to always say stop, or I used to say
Mhm.
left to go around the corner, or right to go around the corner. But the most important was to halt, to stop at the
Mhm.
intersection because a car could
Yep.
be.
Yep.
But yeah, they can learn a lot of things. It's just implementation, routine, repetitive, motions,
Yeah.
muscle
And that
memory based,
mark
over and
reward
over.
system,
That's right.
like you see people say with dog training, one thing I've learned is, or two things, I guess, is eye contact and the timing of the mark, yes, and
Yep,
the
it's
reward
important.
right
Yep.
after. And just like you said, keep the training sessions short, 5, 10, 15 minutes max, and always end on success and a high note.
That's right.
And just keep it short and practice it over and over. Like you said, even when he's in the free position, if he's learning something, I'm going to reward it. If he's looking at a squirrel and looking at a bird and calm and just like taking things in, I'll give him that praise, whether it's treat or physical touch. um, I'm a big fan of physical touch. Obviously food has its own use, and it's really good for teaching new commands, etc. I just eventually want to get to the stage where when I mark yes, he's just happy to have me rub him down and he did something good. Because say I'm hiking
Mhm.
for a week, like I don't want to always depend on food. It's a great tool, as are toys, but I just want him to want to work for me so much and just learn that a simple yes and a rub down, is all he needs. But
Yeah, yeah.
one day at a
Well, that's
time.
awesome, man. Yeah, for sure. And again, it's progression, right? One step at a time, and you'll get there. Again, it
Thank
takes
you.
work, and it's not going to happen overnight. I'm still working with Deuce, and he just turned 6 years old.
Wow.
So we
Yeah.
we still got a lot of things to do with him as well. But yeah, these dogs are great, man. And we love having you on and sharing your
Thank
experience,
you.
Brandon. And anything that we can do to help you guys out in the future with any progression, or nutrition or anything. I know you're about that, but anything new that anyone could give us as advice or as tips and tricks like that, let us know. Put them in the comments. We'll talk about them, and then we'll go from there. But we appreciate you having taking the time out again, Brandon. And
Thanks for
we
having me, Mark.
we love Achilles, and we
Oh,
hope you guys have a long, life together and a lot of adventures.
thank you so much. You couldn't ask for a better breeder and friend. Um, One thing we didn't discuss real quick, I'll tell anyone that's gonna buy a purebred dog, get pet insurance when they're a puppy, because you will go to the vet and it'll save you so much money in the long run just to have it. You pay 50, $80, whatever it is a month. So well worth it. Um,
Yeah, and
yeah,
a hell of
and
an
that's it.
emergency, because of the emergencies, just in case that you do have an emergency,
Hmm.
and God forbid it's on a weekend.
For real, and
that
which some of mine have been, and it's yeah.
yeah, that pet
And slow
insurance.
feeders are really cool because this breed is subject to bloat. So,
Oh,
like
yep.
you'll learn when you do your homework on the Doberman, you can't feed them and then exercise them intensely right away or give them water. Always
Yeah, they
have
can do
that,
before and after, so just be careful of that. Especially,
have that like
we always for dog like an hour and a half after.
that's what I was just going to say, an hour. And one last thing that just comes to my mind, aside from the crates being so beneficial, I would get a place like the little trampoline um, that you've seen on Instagram and whatever, and put your dog
Those
on
day
place.
beds,
What's that?
those little day beds, right? Those
Yeah,
cots,
that
those
are
little cots.
elevated off the ground.
Yeah.
My trainer told me early on that's his meditation area. So if he's got the zoomies and he's a million miles an hour, I put him on place. I give him a collagen chew stick or a Kong toy to work his mouth on, and you
Yeah.
stay there. You stay, and it's also great if you go to an open field. You bring that trampoline with you. I put him on place, you feed him, you get engagement, and then you go from there. So I would definitely advocate for crates, a little place area, and then just quality toys and gear, and just have fun with it, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to grow as we grow with our pet. We're going to learn more and more as we learn, as we research. So again, we're just going to get better and better. So again, we appreciate the work that you've been putting in with Achilles, and it's been showing, man.
Oh,
And
thank you, man.
The most important for us is that you love him and he loves you, and you guys are having a great life.
Most definitely, and shout out to you and our friend Damien for really holding me to certain standards, because it's you will have trials and tribulations, and at times you're like, what did I get myself into, when they're younger and when they're whining. But if you just press on, it's so worth it. My guy's only 11 months. I can't wait to see him at 3 years old. But I'm going to push him to the best. Yeah, I hope so. And I hope to get some accreditations with him, whether it's Schutzhund or like PSA. But my most immediate and pressing goal for my own self, where I'll feel a sense of satisfaction, is when I have healed down perfectly, and then just go from there. Like, if I could have him dialed into me, and you could have your dog trained when it's you one-on-one, but like Mark said, bring your dog everywhere, because training a dog solo versus training with distractions is a whole different world. A real trained dog could be subject to distractions and they're still locked onto you in heel. So bring your dog everywhere, all different environments, outdoors, rural, cities, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll pay dividends in the long run, for sure.
Yeah, that's great advice. And we always recommend, don't try to board and train too early, right? Try to do group lessons or private lessons, because you're gonna learn.
The dogs are out there. Ruhig, Lasses. Yeah, some German right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're teaching your dog in German. We teach all our dogs in French, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's what Damien does too, Couché, because they come from a French line, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Damien. Shout out to Damien. He was supposed to be on with us. I know his schedule is a little off from ours. But we're gonna get him on, and we're gonna talk more about all this stuff. But Damien Sutherland, he's out.
Yeah, for real. So he's helped me so much, and he's got a beautiful girl from you, Onyx, and he's done some great things, all self-taught and just super dialed. Ruhig.
Yeah, you guys are doing great things, man, and we appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate you, Mark. I'm happy to be on here, man. Shout out Nemesis Kennels. Even people in New York, when I go to the dog club and do some protection work, I met a Doberman kid the other day, and he knew Nemesis Kennels. So really
that's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Cool. We just want to share the love, man. Share the love, and anything that you guys can give back, we love. So again, thank you for being on here.
Thank you, man. I'd love to get back on here again and in a few months or whatnot and talk about whatever Doberman related.
Yeah, we're gonna get back on. But, we can probably stay on here forever and talk knowledge, bro.
It's true. Let's enjoy our Friday while the sun's still up. But this was awesome, and I'm gonna go work out our boy again and then go from there.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much again. Take care. God bless. Give big kisses to Achilles for us.
Yeah. Thanks for being his great first dad. Thanks, Mark. Nemesis Kennels all the way. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, my bro. Take care.
Later, man.
All right, guys. Well, this is Mark Tamayo signing off with Nemesis Kennels. We had a great talk with Brandon. We're going to have some more great talks with more guests and get better as we go. So if you guys have any comments, concerns, any topics that you guys want to talk about, let us know and we'll go over them. So in the meantime, just make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Nemesis_Kennels or Nemesis Kennels LLC, and check us out on all our platforms at tappy.tech/Nemesis Kennels. All right, guys, take care, and I'll leave you with a little outro.